Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Today we got some big Power Rangers news about the future of the brand. Now we don't have some exact details on exactly what's coming next, but some pretty big news in terms of kind of giving you a little bit of shape of the future. So the main news is that Jonathan Entwistle, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, is going to be in charge of the brand from now on as we head into the new Hasbro era. And there's an article that came out from the Hollywood Reporter. I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from it, the important ones, and then I'll just kind of talk about what the news means in general and some theories and thoughts on it. So as we know, this guy was going to be in charge of the Power Rangers movie, and that's still true. However, this new news means that he's not just going to be in charge of the movie, but television and whatnot as well. It says, as opposed to recent efforts which focus primarily on the big screen, the new initiative will see Entwistle overseeing directing both the film and television adaptations. And then, you know, this part's paraphrased, but they're talking about how this move here is coming right after, you know, E1 is going to be taking over production, which was something we talked about a couple times in previous videos. Jonathan has an incredible creative vision for this iconic and hugely successful franchise, and is hands down the right architect to join us as we reimagine the television and film worlds of this property, said E1 the President Nick Meyer. Skipping down a bit, across our slate we are looking forward to working with the most talented storytellers as we take on Hasbro's rich fan favorite brands and build entertainment universes around them. And I will link to the article, and there's a couple more little excerpts, but I'll link to the article as well. So this is an unbelievable opportunity to deliver new Power Rangers to both new and existing generations of awaiting and adoring fans. We'll bring the spirit of analog to the future, into the future, harnessing the action and storytelling that made the brand a success. And that's what Entwistle himself said. Like I said, I'll link to the article if you want to read all the details, but those are like the key takeaway points outside of the boilerplate stuff where they say, you know, Power Rangers is a brand that's exists. Yeah, we know. So we don't know what this means a whole lot. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to be thinking about the rumors that after Dino Fury, Hasbro is splitting from Toei and doing their own thing. This really doesn't confirm it. I think this is one of those news bits where, depending on what you want or want to read into it, you could read it either way. Like, I could see, you know, all this stuff about a clean slate feel to it. I could see them breaking away and trying something new. But also, if, you know, they're wanting to connect the movies and the TV shows, maybe they're going to want to stay with live action. So I wouldn't read too much into it either way. Like I said, you could read this thinking this means they're going to split from Toei, and you could read it thinking it's not going to mean it, and you could read both outcomes from this. But what this says to me is that they are thinking about evolving the brand and putting their own mark on it, which to me is all good news. You know, you guys know my stance on this. I'm fine with animated. I would love to see us break away from Sentai, whether it means animated or live action, or if we do Sentai, just don't limit ourselves. So if we still use Sentai footage, just film your own show also. Like, if you're thinking, oh, I want this scene, oh, Sentai didn't do it, who cares? Just film your own TV show, everyone else does it. So you guys know my stance on that. But I don't want to, you know, read too much into anything in terms of what this could mean for the Toei news. You know, I'll keep you guys updated when we learn about that. But like I said, what I think this means is that Hasbro is finally going to be more fully taking Power Rangers in their own unique direction. And I'm not saying this confirms my theory, but my general thought process, especially with some of the recent news, was that when Hasbro bought the brand, that basically, you know, they just decided to leave the deal and honor the deal that Saban had with Nick and everything in place, and that they kind of use that to their advantage to sort of leave the show on autopilot, more or less, for Beast Morphers and Dino Fury, which is a smart move, because the show, you know, wasn't night and day difference between Beast Morphers and Ninja Steel, really. I mean, you know, it still feels very much Neo Saban. I expect Dino Fury to feel very much Neo Saban, and it was kind of a smart move, you know. You have everything in place. You have the deal, you have the people making the show, you just let it run. That way the show and merchandise stays out there, you know, it doesn't take a break, it still remains in people's minds and on store shelves while they work on their own stuff, and this seems to be what that is. They're going to be finally doing their own thing. I think regardless of what happens, whether it's live action, animated, adapting Sentai, not adapting Sentai, audio drama, you know, Candygram, whatever it's gonna be, I think that we are in for at least something of a soft reboot, something new, or at the very minimum, I think after Dino Fury, whatever comes from this will feel distinctly Hasbro. Kind of like how you can have a distinct feel of Saban Zordon era, Disney era, Neo Saban, and then I think this will truly be the Hasbro era. And one of the most interesting things about it is they talk about wanting a connectivity and synergy between the movies and TV shows and whatnot. And since this guy's overseeing both, I think that's interesting. I certainly don't expect to see anything on the levels of like the MCU, but I think that might be a little bit of the level of thinking in terms of having some level of connectivity. I'm definitely interested in that, and I like that they're thinking about that, whether it's on a big or small scale. You know, there could be multiple TV projects, some of which might be more connected to the movie, some of which wouldn't be, but I like the idea that they kind of have one guy overseeing it all to make sure that there's a synergy between that. And I think that this is nothing but good news. No matter what form it takes, I think we need to get out of this rut we're in, and to me it shows that they're acknowledging that and they're wanting to move forward and do something different, and they're really thinking about how to move forward with the brand. I think also, just a little bit of speculation on my part, just from this news coming out now, I think it's a good sign that we wouldn't be in for too much of a break. I recently talked about how, you know, after Dino Fury there might be a break if they're trying something new, and there still could be, but it kind of tells me that it wouldn't be as long of a break as we think. Like, you know, again, I don't know anything. This is purely my speculation, but if Dino Fury is the last season in the current run, like, I don't think they'd take a 5-year break or wait till years after the movie came out. I think this means whatever's on the horizon next would be sooner rather than later, which I think is good news. But I will keep you guys updated as always as this develops further, and if there's any news about the toy split or not toy split or whatever. But in the meantime, what do you guys think of the news? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get just my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.